Expect the best used car deals guaranteed. Visit arnoldclark.com.
Welcome to Peter and Ruffy's Football Show. It is Thursday. I'm Peter Martin, and joining me in the studio alongside Alan Ruff is, as ever, Gordon Smith to give us his thoughts on all the football news coming out today, including, of course, another remarkable night in the Champions League. Yes, lots to talk about. Of course, Champions League semi-final, second leg after the heroics of Liverpool, stunning Barcelona. Surely Spurs couldn't do the same thing against Ajax. Ruffy, can you believe it? It was unbelievable for the second night in a row.
I don't think any could believe the second half, the performance that they put in. It just shows you that determination in football. If you believe in the players you've got on the park, and you get the wee rub of the green, you get goals at the right time, and you keep fighting till the end. It was just, for me, it was just never give up night last night, and they got the just rewards in the end.
Everybody was waxing lyrical about Ajax. They go 2 goals up at home again. You're thinking they're 3-0 up in aggregate, Gordon. They play some lovely football. Tottenham played some nice football, but in the end, Pochettino makes a strategical change, and Fernando Llorente, an old-style centre-forward, changes the game.
It did change the game, and they lost, obviously, Robertson as well on the Tuesday night, Liverpool. So they lost him, and so Spurs were also losing players through injury. But they made that change, which was crucial. And I have to say that there's no doubt about it. I think I've very rarely seen 2 such good semi-finals as those, because of the way, the reaction to it, because you never expected either result or either performance. I thought Liverpool were brilliant on Tuesday night. I didn't get a chance to speak about that. But last night, I thought Spurs weren't playing too well in the first half. I didn't see that coming. Ajax are a tremendous team. They've already had wins against Juventus, Real Madrid. So you're thinking, when they're 3-0 up on aggregate at home, 45 minutes to play, you do think they're going to hold it. But give all credit to Spurs, they came back well, and what a finish it was to score in the 95th minute. Yeah,
not surprised that Lucas Moura had the ball underneath his shirt, Ruffy, to make sure he was getting out of that stadium. It means now on the 1st of June, beg your pardon, in the Madrid stadium, Atletico Madrid that is, it'll be Liverpool against Tottenham Hotspur, an all-English final. And you could tell the emotion on Mauricio Pochettino's face last night, what it meant to him, and this is what he had to say after the game.
They are heroes. I told you in the last 6 months, I think I repeat these sentences. I think they are superheroes now. To brought the club to the final of Champions League, I think is very close to a miracle. No one believed in us from the beginning of the season. We are so close, almost on the top 4, and sure on the 1st of June in Madrid, playing the final against Liverpool.
Yeah, very close to a miracle. I think it was a miracle at one point. And yet again, I never thought we would say it, Gordon, but it's one of those games when you're watching it, you're actually jumping up and down in the living room because you can't believe what's unfolded.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you just can't think about it. I mean, Ruffy was right in what he said about things. They got a little bit of a break. The one goal that I felt that Ajax could have done a lot better with was the second goal, because the keeper was about to get the ball and his own defender knocked it away, and the ball came to Lucas, and he had a lovely little touch, so quick feet in the box, the way he just turned and side-footed it into the net. That got them back at 2 each, and then all of a sudden you think there's plenty of time left here. There really was. And then time drifted away, and we got to that stage where we were thinking, oh, they're not going to do it now, because we got to the 90th minute. Obviously they got the 5 extra minutes. I think they went to about 6.5 though at the end up because of the time wasting. But it was incredible. And as I say, you're absolutely right. I mean, if you want to enjoy football, there's no better thing than seeing things that are unexpected happen in a football match.
And there are many ways to win a football match, not necessarily always the Barcelona way, as Spurs proved with Llorente, and of course, let's not forget Dele Alli's sublime pass. Now, I have to tell you, on last night's show, we highlighted a poll that we'd put out the night before saying, is there any way Liverpool could overturn a 3-0 deficit against Barcelona? 87% on last night's programme said there was no way. So we decided, let's put a poll out for Spurs. And this indeed was the result of it. Will Tottenham stage a comeback against Ajax and join Liverpool in the Champions League final? And I think it's up there. I think there's a higher yes. 28%, Ruffy, suddenly believed that maybe it was on.
Yeah, I think everybody who watched the first leg, you know, they looked very superior in that one. Yeah. And again, it didn't look, full credit to Hugh McDonald, who called it. You know, he said the Spurs are still in it. You know, they've still got the players in there that could win it. And it didn't look as big a task as the Liverpool one, not on paper, because it was only one.
Until half-time.
Yeah, until half-time. And then it looked desperate. But, you know, I just think the mentality to come back, no, to be in the dressing room as it was, the mentality for the manager and for the players to still believe that this game still can be won.
That's
it
quite a high.
Takes them a lot of credit.
It's quite a high number, 28%. Who believed that actually they could come back. I wouldn't have thought it would have been as much as that.
Yeah.
As I say, a friend of mine had a bet on at half time that Tottenham could win the game, and he got 20 to 1 odds on it. Did quite well.
Although on the poll itself, it could have been a situation where Alan Sugar was just continually repressing the vote on it. But nevertheless, it was a tremendous game. Of course, one man who knows all about winning in the Champions League final is the Rangers manager, Steven Gerrard. Here's what he had to say on the 2 games.
I just think it confirmed to everyone how big the Champions League competition is. It's a mega competition. I've experienced it as a player. It's the ultimate, and I think the last 2 games over the last 48 hours have confirmed that. I mean, the nerves on Tuesday night at Anfield for myself personally was difficult to control. I had to leave at 4-0, even though I had my 7-year-old daughter. I used that as an excuse, but it was more the nerve side of it. So God help what the players were going through. And then yesterday, obviously, Spurs. I mean, what a performance from Spurs. And just to see the emotion and the reaction from Pochettino, I think it shows what football means to everyone. I just think both games were a great advert for European football, and you know, what a final to look forward to.
Yeah, and he knows exactly what it's like to play in a Champions League final, and a special one with a comeback as well. Steven Gerrard talking today, getting ready for the big game on Sunday, of course, Rangers against Celtic. And Celtic now the champions, all this hot air about should they be given a guard of honour. I know the Celtic players, Callum McGregor today, saying they don't need a pat on the back from anyone. They'll be focused on the game. And Steven Gerrard himself said, you know, it wasn't him that made the decision to deny Celtic a guard of honour.
To be honest with you, my thoughts are not important on that subject. The club have made a decision on that, and they've decided there won't be a guard of honour, so I think my thoughts on it are irrelevant. I'll follow what I'm told to do by the people that are in charge of the club.
What do you make of it all, Gordon? I mean, do we need a guard of honour?
I don't think so. It's quite a kind of modern thing, isn't it? I mean, I don't remember that from years gone by. You know, there's a rivalry there at times, and especially if it's 2 clubs who are major rivals. I mean, a lot of the idea of it probably would be they wouldn't want, the fans probably wouldn't want a guard of honour. I know quite a few ex-players have said why not and all that sort of thing, but I don't think it's necessarily something that they have to do. You know, and it depends. It's the club that's made this decision. They should maybe have asked the players, do you want to do it or not? But I don't know what they would have said. Yeah.
Ruffy, I'll ask you the same question. Do we need a guard of honour in Scottish football? I don't think Celtic would have been keen to do it either. I don't care that Rangers. I just think it's something it's a story that's been blown up out of all proportion.
Yeah, I don't think either of the 2 teams or the players will lose sleep over it. You know, they'll be so focused on the game itself. All I thought was if Rangers had done it, it would have been a nice thing for Rangers Football Club to show that they were above everything else that's going about this year, you know, and I'm sure they would have got a lot of plaudits for it, for being bigger than some of the people who didn't want to do it. But they're not going to do it, and I'm sure it won't hinder the game whatsoever.
No, absolutely not. I mean, we're living in an era now where people like to posture and paint things, for a PR stance more than anything else. It's all about just going and winning titles, winning cups, that the players will not be bothered on either half if you are winning. I'm sure you've got your own thoughts on it as well. You can give us your thoughts across all our social media outlets. Have a look at this. Here's our quiz question. On the 19th of May, the great and the good of Scottish football's writing community will assemble to present the Player of the Year, the Young Player of the Year and the Manager of the Year. In all those categories, the Scottish football writers have announced the nominees in each area. And as far as the Player of the Year is concerned, here's a look at the candidates for the top award from the writing fraternity. And as you can see there, Callum McGregor, James Forrest, Alan McGregor and Alfredo Morelos. What do you make of that, Ruffy?
Yeah, I thought obviously James Forrest won the players one. I think Alan McGregor had a fantastic 6 months, first 6 months of the year. And that was because Rangers were under pressure in a lot of these games and he was winning games single-handedly. Rangers have got much better. He's had less to do, obviously, with the team going forward. So I think the latter part, was through no fault of him, just that Rangers have got better. Morelos' facts are there for everybody to see, the goal scoring. I thought Callum McGregor should have won the players one. He didn't, but I think he's got a good chance of winning this one.
Yeah, I would have said up until Christmas, Alan McGregor was out and out front runner. I'm slightly surprised he's still in there.
Yeah, I think Morelos was a little bit around about that time too, with the goals he was getting to play. I agree with Ruffy. I thought that Callum McGregor would have won the players' player. I think it would be between him and James Forrest for this one too.
Yeah,
I think either one of them are very deserving of it. I mean, when you win the treble, I think you should be automatically, a player from that team should be the Player of the Year.
Okay, just before we had the quiz question, I mentioned to you the fact that a Guard of Honour, was it all about, just trying to portray themselves in a good light? Is it a form of tokenism for the Scottish football writers to include Shelley Kerr in the Manager of the Year, or does she deserve that recognition because of her great achievements in the women's game?
I think in this year, definitely she does. I don't see anything wrong with it at all that she's been put forward as a candidate, because she's done a marvellous job taking Scotland to a World Cup final the first time they've ever been there. So I don't see why she has to be ignored from that point of view. I think it's great that she's been actually put forward as one of the candidates.
Steve Clark, Gary Holt and Dick Campbell in there as well. I'm sure Dick will go along and enjoy himself. And he'll certainly let me know again if he doesn't win it. He's had a fantastic campaign. Gary Holt and Steve Clark equally so.
Yeah, again, with these three, you have to get your head around the budget situation and know what they've achieved. But I think Steve Clark is going to get a double in this one. I think he's been really impressive. They're still impressive just now, trying to get that third place.
Yeah.
So I think Stevie Clark will win this one as well.
Yeah, I actually think that Shelley Kerr will win it, Gordon, and I have no insider knowledge whatsoever on this one. I just get the feeling that
because she's nominated, that she's there.
I just think they might just steer it towards it because, not because I don't think she's undeserving of it, but sometimes I think there's a sway of popular opinion.
Yeah, it could be that, because I mean, it's to a certain extent that the women's football's got a lot of publicity this year. First time it's ever really had that much. The game is growing in Scotland from the women's point of view, and the fact that she's nominated must put her in with it. And I think it will be between her and Steve Clark. I think those are the two that will compete for this trophy. Okay,
what about the young player? Here are the four candidates in that category. Lewis Ferguson once again finds himself in there, Ruffy. No surprise to see him there. Jake Hastie, David Turnbull and Greg Taylor in there, the full-back from Kilmarnock.
Yeah, I think the Greg Taylor one's a surprise one in that four. Lewis Ferguson, as Barry was saying, has had a fantastic leap into that Aberdeen side. He's come on leaps and bounds. I personally would go for David Turnbull. I think David Turnbull has had a fantastic entry into that Motherwell side, and I think any time we see Motherwell, he's been the focus of that team, scoring goals, and he's got a big future ahead of him. I think he'll win it.
Yeah, I think so. I think that Turnbull will be the main player because he's getting a lot of recognition. But I have to say, I think young Ferguson has done really well because he's gone in there into that Aberdeen team and firmly established himself now. He's maybe signed as a player that was going to be a prospect to come through, but not anymore. He is a mainstay in that team. Young lad Taylor has been excellent this year, I think, as well. He's been outstanding without getting much publicity. There's not been a lot of talk about him, but it's nice to see him nominated.
Yeah, I think they'll go for Lewis Ferguson. It's just a thought on it.
Yeah.
Everybody's got their opinion. What about the international player? It's nice to see James Forrest, Callum McGregor and Alan McGregor there, and maybe they'll get a chance, Ruffy, to applaud Andy Robertson as he walks up to pick up the award.
Yeah, I think there is only one. There's only one winner on this one. It's Andy Robertson, you know, and although he's missed a couple of games for Scotland there, he's been head and shoulders above anybody who's played. You know, the level.
Missing those 2 games for Scotland is detrimental.
I know, but I mean, he's just what he's done. I mean, we're voting on him for what he's done for Scotland as the national side. You know, so I think he is head and shoulders above everybody.
I don't think that's the ultimate criteria, is
No,
it?
I think we're voting for Andy Robertson just in terms of where his stance is now. I mean, people are actually saying down south that he's the best fullback in Europe.
Alan Kennedy thinks he's the best fullback in the world.
Yeah, I mean,
and Alan Kennedy was some player for Liverpool.
Yeah. As I mentioned earlier, he went off the other night, and Liverpool continued to do well, even the fact he went off. But he's still outstanding in a good first half. The fact he got injured as well. And he is really someone who, from the point of view of what we spoke about earlier on as well, we were talking about the fact young players getting rejected. He was rejected by Celtic as a kid, and I think he's shown a lot, his mentality to actually come back from that and fight his way all the way back up to the top, and now 2 years in a row playing in a Champions League final.
Oh, it's incredible. And the other thing about it as well, I mean, I'm thinking back to some of the great European sides. I mean, some people suggested that the AC Milan side were a fantastic side as well, and they had 2 fantastic fullbacks, Cafu and Maldini. Barcelona had Alves and Abidal.
Yep.
You look at this team, they've got Trent Alexander on one side and Andy Robertson on the other. It's absolutely fantastic. Another little thing that's interesting enough for yourself, Gordon, you used to be an agent. The top 12 clubs have been revealing their spend to agents, the money actually that goes out of the game, in my view. Whether it's a necessary evil or not is something you can decide on. Celtic, no surprise, topped the table with 1.7 million paid out to agents.
I'll need to get back into that business, I think.
Yeah.
Looking at that list there. I don't want to be dealing with St Mirren right enough.
Yeah. Just about to say to you. Or, let me be honest with you, I don't want to be dealing with St Mirren or Tottenham.
No, exactly.
Tottenham haven't spent anything in 2 transfer windows,
That's
Ruffy.
true, they didn't.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. I think most of the Celtic one would have been on Edward, you know, at £9 million. I don't know the percentages that go about there for agents' fees, but certainly £9 million is a lot of money.
The money's generally based on a percentage of the wages. That's it, what the player's going to earn over that period rather than the transfer fee.
Yeah.
It's based on the wages.
Okay, we'll take your word for it, Gordon, because we've never been involved in that agency game, Ruffy, and that's why we're here on the show. The Dons tried hard to keep Graham Shinnie. They tried everything they could. That's the word coming out from Derek McInnes, but I think Graham Shinnie himself just wanted a different test, Ruffy.
Yeah, I think he'd been up there for a while, you know, and the challenges, everybody says players want to challenge themselves down in English football, and he'll go down there, and I'm sure that they'll get a right good player. I think most of the reasonable players that have went down there have put on a good show, and I think it's just a change. You know, obviously finances as well come into it a wee bit.
Financial aspect will be huge.
Yeah,
it will be.
But
what they're paying down south compared to up here, Ruffy. They really are.
Just before we go, lads, will it be a major worry, Gordon, if we get a situation where Arsenal triumph over Valencia, Chelsea manage to turn over the game against Eintracht Frankfurt, which is nicely poised at 1-1, an all-England final again, and that could be 4 English clubs. For me personally, a year ago, when the finances were revealed and they'd struck that £1 billion deal, £1 billion deal, I beg your pardon, on behalf of the FA Premier League, I just feared for the rest of Europe, and I think Europe is now actually looking and being very scared of what's happening.
I think you have to take it into account, though. You look at the 2 teams that have reached the Champions League final, both of them could have been out. Just they did fantastically well. So
Yeah.
they're on merit. And if you're in the final on merit, regardless of what country you're from, if you're there, in recent seasons, Spain have been putting a lot of teams off. It's an all-Spanish final in the Champions League, Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid. So things like that, I think that we need to look at it and just say, the money's there and these teams are great teams, but both of them could have been out.
Yeah, okay. Arsenal to beat Valencia?
I think they'll go through now, yeah. I thought Valencia would knock them out. I thought it would be a Valencia-Chelsea final.
Yeah, do you want me to text you when Valencia eventually win 4-3?
Well, no, then I'll be right. I want you to mention it tomorrow night in the show if Valencia win.
What about Eintracht against Chelsea?
I think Chelsea will go through.
Ruffy?
Yeah, I'm going Chelsea and Arsenal as well.
Chelsea and Arsenal in the final. Okay, Gordon, give me your prediction for Rangers against Celtic.
Rangers against Celtic this weekend, 1 each.
1 each?
I'm going to go 2 each.
2 each. Well, there you are. Diplomacy. I actually almost fell into the same thing that I make a mistake on every time Celtic plays Rangers. Who do you think will win? Is a mistake for Gordon, but he's given us a prediction. So there you are. We can nail him next Thursday on that one. Thanks to Ruffy and Gordon and myself. Thanks for watching.
Expect the best used car deals guaranteed. Visit arnoldclark.com.